Hello and welcome back to my garage here in Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. We have we have a full house. I have some cool stuff to show you that I'm going to get rid of here. This one here is the Dodge Dart that we completed last time. You may remember that there was a body part that I couldn't find. I had to go to the Steam page for the mod to look it up, and it's actually that piece right there where it says rear left fender. It's a piece that fits behind the bumper, and I could not find it to save my life. Yeah, see it? You can see the outline there. If it wasn't for the Steam forums, I wouldn't have found it. But that means the car is now completely 100% and I can sell it. I'm kind of getting used to the look of it though. But no, I don't really want to keep it. So we are at about $69,000, almost $70,000. Not terrible, but not the kind of payday that I'd like to have. And then we have the Dodge Viper, which I have finished the Viper. I kind of meant to keep it for a little bit longer, but once I got working on it, I couldn't stop. That's what usually happens to me. I start working on a car and I just keep going until it's done. But this is the Dodge Viper, and it's about $500,000. Yeah, $494,000. Yeah, almost $500,000. Notice that the horsepower is 1,048, which is absolutely insane. This is like way too much car for just about anybody to drive. If I were actually selling it to somebody, I would be frightened as to what they might do with it, because I'm pretty sure this car is going to end up in the junkyard again in fairly short order. But that's not our problem. I'm going to shoot that out the door, $495,000. And so we have over here, this is the 991 Carrera, 911 Carrera 4S. I always keep forgetting it. Model number is 991. I have done a bunch of work on this car, as you can see, since the last time you were here. It's done. The front end is done. You can tell there by the wheels, but the interior, the parts and stuff are all finished too. I have done this before, where I have taken and cosmetically fixed up the car and put nice clean wheels on it, and all the rest of it underneath of it is still junk. This one is not that way, although the body pieces are all nice and clean. Everything, see here, the engine and the rear drivetrain all need to be done. And I will finish that. I want to sell the car when it's finished. Remember, this car was about $50,000 in the junkyard, and now we're at $218,000 where it sits, which is really nice. Oh, I just noticed something. The factory color on this was white, but it came in red. And longtime viewers will know that I like things to be red, so the car is going to stay that way. I have one of these that I kept for myself already anyway, so this one will be sold when it's done. So that takes us to the Camaros. Now I have two of these Camaros. I found both of these in the same junkyard. These are this is a 1992 Z28, 25th anniversary. I already did the body on it because I wanted to see what it looked like. And I did change the seats, because the seats that it wanted me to put in it I thought didn't look good. So I'm going to do the body on this one. This is a Z20. This is an 86 Z28, slightly different than that one. Let's get this stuff out of here. And I want to see what they look like when they're all all, dolled up. Let's see. Let's get that off. I may just go ahead and buy the body parts rather than... Actually, that one actually has a Washington plate on it already. That's unusual. Okay, body condition is 1% now. That should mean everything is off of it. I'll go ahead and repair two things. I think I might have a plate. Nope, I don't. I thought I did. Actually, the other Camaro didn't take a front plate. So okay, the battery. Yeah, see, the other Camaro didn't. The other Camaro didn't take a front plate. It has this logo thing there in the front bumper. And we'll need to buy radiator stuff for it, because that radiator was junk, not gearbox. And of course I don't know which fan it wants. None. Oh, because the fan is going to be on the engine. This one I noticed has like the 2-carb OHV engine in it, and I'm probably not going to use that. Let's get the underside done. Okay, so that's front pipe V8 OHV, rear muffler V8 OHV. Look at that. We actually are going to get to have all performance exhaust on this one. It doesn't always happen. Now I looked at pictures of the old Camaro Z28s, and I wanted to see what the steering wheels and seats look like, because the seats that were in these were the seat 6 leather D, which is I didn't think looked right. So I looked up some pictures. Seat 6 leather D, whoops, this is the one I replaced it with. What was the other one? It was like seat something D. It was this one, seat 9 leather D. And I didn't think that looked right. I actually should have bought 2 of those seats. I think it was steering wheel 9. Yeah. The steering wheel doesn't look bad. So steering wheel 9 looks okay. And I need to get another one of these seats because I only bought one. I bought 2. I bought one of these. Why did I do that? Seat 6 leather D. See, that seat I don't think looks right, and I don't even know why I bought one of those. No, I want to install this seat right here. See, I think I compared this, like I said, against the pictures of an actual Camaro Z28 from back in the day, and I think these seats look better, look more correct. That should come off there. So this one has T-tops like the other one does. Alright, so now I'm going to need to buy a whole mess of body parts. And I'm pretty sure that those were all Type B parts. So, bumper. I know the trunk was Type B. Front left fender B, front right door B, right fender B, front bumper B. So where are those? Front left fender B, front right fender B, front window, mirror. I'm going to get those because the mirrors are the same. Trunk window. And I'm pretty sure that was trunk B as well. Trunk B, hood B. Okay. Left side mirror, front right door window, rear bumper. Just uses the basic headlights, it doesn't use the B headlights. Okay, so here's what I don't understand. It says front left door B, front right door B. Rear left fender, rear right fender. That's going to be the T-tops. And those are this thing and left fender, right fender. That's those. So I don't understand why it wants front left door window, front right door window, left. Yeah, see, front left door B, right front right door B. And there is no front left door B, front right door B. Unless I am no. I bet there's something in the config files for the mod where those parts aren't listed correctly, so they're not showing up properly. I didn't buy Windows, apparently. So we'll just have to go with the regular door. And I will dig into the config. I'll dig into the config and look at it. It'd be like that one Mercedes car where there's a part that's in there incorrectly. So everything is all messed up. Alright, let's go ahead and paint this thing. That color's not great. I wonder if I can get... I could go black. I would like to get like a nice... Come back here to that. Dim it down a little bit. There we go. Get like a nice forest green on it. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that. I want to see... I don't know if there are any liveries for it. Oh, there's something. Ugh. Wow, that looks... That's like for a race car. So there's one actual livery that looks ridiculous. So we'll leave it like this. I like this green. So, hey. Okay, this was not intentional. So this one is the factory color for this car. I made that one. That car isn't done. So I may change its color too. Because I like where this one is, so I'm gonna leave it like this, and I'm gonna build that other one in a different color. The only big difference I really noticed, it's got this spoiler on the trunk, and the hood is different. It's got different vents than the hood on this one. It doesn't have the spoiler on it. And now we're just gonna go ahead and do the usual thing and work this bad boy up. I remember when I was not too long out of high school, I was working at a place where the manager that we worked for had a Camaro. Everybody thought it was really cool. This would have been late 1980s. I remember his car was either black or really dark blue. I don't really remember. The guy was kind of a douchebag though, so I wouldn't be trying to replicate his car. Okay, that wasn't intentional. I reached all the way through to the other side. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and completely disassemble the undercarriage, and then mass repair. We'll do the mass replacement, mass repair, and then put it all back together. I actually have an excess. I have a pair of shock absorber Bs in my inventory already because I bought them by mistake. I thought there was a car I was working on that I thought was going to use them, and it turned out that it wanted A. And I kept the Bs because I knew that these Camaros would take them. So that's why I have a little bit of excess partage in my inventory. As you all know, I hate to do that. Pretty sure I'm not going to build this engine either. I think it's a 2-carb OHV, and it only has. Oh, there's a piston there. So there's like one piston. Is there anything on the other side? Nope. So it won't let me have the crankshaft while that piston is in there. So there's one piston, crankshaft, and that block. Probably a what's the word I want? The ring. Well, the rings. There'll be rings on that piston too. Probably be a full rebuild. Actually, that reminds me. I wanted to mention, and I completely forgot about it. The Viper that I sold here at the beginning of the show. It had in the engine compartment. All it had was the engine was just nothing but the block and the crankshaft. And both of them were junk. Couldn't repair either of them. Which meant that car got an entirely brand new engine. Had to buy all the parts from scratch. Which would of course cut into my profit. I always like to try to repair the block and reuse it if I can. But yeah, that happens sometimes. Especially with junkyard cars. Quite often with junkyard cars, all you get is the engine block and the crankshaft. There was another car that I was working on. Might have been that Dodge Dart, now that I think about it. When I took the engine out, it was substantially complete. It had heads and the intake manifold. Only had one exhaust manifold on it. And sometimes it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, if there's a lot of parts, you have a chance at repairing a lot of stuff. But when you do the kind of builds that I like to do, where you upgrade everything, you end up throwing away a lot of stuff. Let's go ahead and lower that and take that thing out. Okay, so now we need to process our inventory. And that's going to be 6, 10 rubber bushings. I'm just going to buy all new brakes. Just nuke all this stuff. And we will get rid of these pieces. Try to repair that. I'm not going to build that OHV engine. So probably end up using a different transmission anyway. Bushings. That was 10 of those. And then a full set of disc brakes. So 4 of everything, except for 2 of each brake disc. Okay, we're going to need to get tie rods. And the sway bars are going to be, the sway end link is going to be A. The front sway bar B. And I want to get, so these are front shock absorber A, so we have to come down here and get 2 of these. And 2 of those, we've only got 1 front spring. There's some leaf spring components. And these coils are going to have to go. These coils will have to go. Spring cap, rear shock absorber cap. Yeah, so get that stuff. Now, actually, the spring caps are occasionally repairable. They are repairable, and what will usually happen is you'll get 1. And I always end up confusing myself and just nuking them. I'm gonna have to buy 2 more of those later. I'm not gonna do it now because I have the B's that I already need. Let's see, 22. I'm gonna nuke all this stuff too. The only part of the hub assembly that's repairable is the actual hub. The bearings and the caps are not, so there's no point in keeping them around. That should leave us with potentially repairable stuff. I'm not sure if I want to use those wheels either. Okay, it looks like I repaired quite a lot of stuff. Yeah, quite a lot. Didn't get to repair that. That's too bad. So 1 leaf spring plate, solid rear drive axle. And the other thing was a lower suspension arm. Couldn't quite remember it. Okay, so that gives us all of our suspension and drivetrain stuff. So let's look at the rims. Because again, I was looking at the pictures of old Z28 Camaros, and they all seem to have a particular kind of 5-spoke rim. But it was one that was the rim was kind of the hub was kind of sunken, and the 5 spokes came out at a sharp angle. And I'm pretty sure that there's nothing in here that looks really like that. I want to make a stab at it, because, well, this here is not terrible. It's not right, but it's not terrible. This one here is not bad either. Actually, this is closer. It's not right, but it's closer. What else? That's not right either. Right. See, this doesn't look bad. This doesn't look far off, except it's these The spokes on the Camaro rim, they were narrow at the hub and wide at the edge. So that's wrong. That doesn't look right. Yeah, nothing here really looks right. So we're going to have to pick something that we think looks good. And I am leaning toward Classic 3. Maybe. No, I think Classic 2. It's not right, but I think it'll look good. What is actually on here? Rim 33. Okay, let's get the wheel. Let's get the tires. 255, 45, 18. And then the other one is 275, 45, 18. Which means that our wheels need to be 18. Okay, so let's go chrome those out. I think the chrome wheel is going to look really good on this car. That's 3. And this one here will be 4. Occasionally I end up painting one rim multiple times by accident because it's really easy to lose track of which one is which. Yeah, that's going to work. I think that's going to work out just fine. That should be the last one mounted. Yeah. Let's take a look at these real quick. And 275, 45, 18. 275, 45, 18. 255, 45, 18. 255, 45, 18. So the old ones can all go away. I think that leaves us with 2, but there's 1 on the balancer and 1 still to go. Well, I guess I didn't buy those. Huh. I wonder if I have front axle knuckle covers. That other tire should be done balancing by now, too. Pardon me there, I got a little bit of a frog in my throat there at the last second. And that 255 is our front wheel. That means we can put the back tires on. And I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, and that 275. The only downside to wheels like this is that you can see through them so well. I wish they had like some performance options for the brakes, because I mean there are performance brakes. That's a real thing, and it seems to me that it would be nice if I could put in, like, I don't know, some darker, like some carbon discs that were black, don't show up so strongly through the spoked wheel. It looks worse sometimes when you have drum brakes, because you have the brake drum back there right behind the tire, and it looks kind of terrible. And it's like, oh man, I wish there was a good way to deal with that. Got the 255 there. That looks really good though. Look at that. Look at that chrome wheel against that dark green. That looks really, really good. I think this car is going to be dark blue in the end, now that I think about it. Chrome wheels, dark blue. I think I'll go with that. And once we finish assembling this bad boy. Now for the engine, I'm thinking I'm not going to do the dual overhead. I'm not going to do that dual carb engine. And my memory of these cars is that they were kind of underpowered. The Z28s were kind of underpowered, or it might be the RS. I don't remember. It's been 30 years. But like I said, my memory of these cars is that they were underpowered, and they were cheaper than like. Did I not buy that? I could have sworn I did. No, I just unless I bought Sway Link B, which wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, there was I can't remember, because there was the Firebird, that you had the Camaros, the Camaros in the 80s that were like underpowered and cheap, and then there was, I think the Firebird was still like the high end, when they still had Chevy and Pontiac as separate brands. That's my memory of it. That's my memory of it. Though I've learned at this point that my memories of things that happened 30 years ago are quite often not exactly what I thought they were. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with that. It's my memory of these cars is that they were underpowered, and I think they might have even had like V6s, unless that was the RS Camaro. Thinking about it, I think that was the RS Camaro that was like that. It had a V6 instead of a V8. I have to read up on it. I wasn't a big fan, really, of this particular car back in the day. I think in the late 80s, I was still much more into Japanese sports cars, like your Nissan 280ZX and the RX-7. Actually, I've always preferred the earlier Z cars. The ZXs were like an attempt at making a luxury sports car, so they were heavy and sluggish compared to the earlier Z cars, which were fast and maneuverable and fun. The RX-7 at least never had that happen to it. Okay, so what can we do here? I think the supercharged one will be bad. The twin-turbo DOHC, which is the one from the Maserati Quattroporte, is definitely not not an appropriate engine for this car. I think we'll do the DOHC AXK, which is the fuel-injected engine. Don't want to use that. This one here has got a 403 horsepower factory. And the two carb OHV 210. So we're going to have 200 horsepower up from the get-go on this thing. And I think the only part I actually have for it is that. All right, cool. So now It's like, where the hell's the... something occurs to me, though. Because, of course, the mod is probably not going to care. Because you noticed that the engine did not have... I mean, there was no radiator fan attached to the radiator. And this engine that I'm setting up to build, I don't think has a... I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a fan. So we're going to be running with no fan. We'll need a bunch of these. And coils. I'm not going to need the ignition coil. Not going to need this coil, but we are going to need that coil. And let's see, what am I thinking of? Manifold. There is not a performance intake manifold for the standard V8. There is, however, a performance exhaust manifold for it. I'm going to need a power steering pump and an alternator. Okay, going to need rings. And what am I thinking of? Head covers. And we're going to need this one and this one. We're going to need coil covers for that. Oh, timing. Going to need timing stuff for the V8. Tim G. This one at least will be 2 belts and a timing cover. Gonna need cam gears. And I'm gonna need a bunch of rollers. And it's like, I can't remember. It's been a while since it's actually been a while since I built one of those. It's like 5 of one belt tension. It's like 5 of one roller and 4 of the other, or 2 of the other. I can't remember. And we'll need serpentine belt V8s, which will be this one. And where's A? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. All right. I think that's... Did I get the crankshaft? I was just thinking... I was just thinking, did I buy that crankshaft or not? Or did I just fantasize that I bought it? But I think that we actually have everything we need to finish this engine. I'm going to have to get a drink. Oh, I know what I didn't buy. At least I haven't forgotten. For V8, you need 3 of those and 8 of these. And it was like 403 horsepower to start. And so we're going to have, I don't know, it's been a while since I've built a non-supercharged version. I mean, the supercharged DOHC V8 is an absolute monster of an engine. And this one, of course, is not supercharged. But I think it's like 575 or something like that, fully upgraded. Pretty sure, and it just occurred to me again, that I haven't bought the intake manifold, I haven't bought the throttle, and I haven't bought the fuel rails. So we're going to need that stuff. So the intake manifold for the non-turbocharged standard V8 is this one. 2 fuel rails, and throttle V8. Okay, now. I tell you what though, any engine that's not an OHV engine is so much easier to put together. You don't have to deal with pistons. You don't have to deal with push rods and rocker arms, and most of these engines you don't even have to deal with cam bearings, cam bearing caps. That's the word I want. Just makes things so much easier. And of course they go together nice and fast when you have all the parts in your inventory all ready to go. Yeah, I'm thinking it was 5 Bs, 5 roller Bs, and 2 roller A's, because you start with 1 roller A up here, and when you install the other belt, there's going to be another roller that appears when the belt is in that goes over here. Yeah. So I bought a few extra rollers. That's fine. I'll probably build the supercharged V8 for the other Camaro. Almost home. Perfect. I'm loving it. Okay, so I wonder if we're going to have to change the exhaust and stuff. Definitely I'm going to have to... Yeah, see, look, those pipes don't match. For the purposes of the mod, it's not going to matter, but it annoys me when they don't fit together properly. I need to figure out what transmission we need, and I need to buy a starter. It's probably going to be gearbox V8, I think, because it's not the OHV engine. Oh look, I didn't put in the release bearing. Okay, that should be... Do they still not match? Yeah, they still don't match. Yep, gonna have to live with it. So we should be at 100% now. Yep, perfect. I quite like how it looks. I'm really pleased with the color and the wheels. It works just perfectly. So it says we've started at 278. Probably not going to get 500 like I thought, but we'll see. Oh, 521. Pretty good. Quite good, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. Remember that it said 403 on the engine stand, and we got 521, fully upgraded. I'm looking forward to driving this car and see what it can do. Yeah, it's very 80s. I like my cars old school though. Gear shift and analog dials instead of digital stuff. Love it, love it, love it. Really takes me back. Perspective is kind of weird though here. I do think these seats were a good choice though. They look better with, because the rear bench there is part of the frame, it's part of the body. So it's not something you replace. But these seats I think suit the car better. Look better than the ones that it had in it from the get-go. Okay, so let's drive it. I want to see what it can do. Which one is it? It's this one. Okay, here we are. Take a look. Whenever you do something in a dark color, like this dark green, you get outside and it's practically black. It always happens. It looks, I mean, it's still, I still am really pleased with it. I really like how it looks. But something is weird with the way the game, I don't know, with the 3D engine that they used or whatever. I love the wheels though. The wheels, the chrome wheels against this green. Super happy with that. Looks so good. Alright, let's see if we can... It's only got, what, 520 horsepower? It shouldn't be too hard to control. It's tracking nice and straight too. A lot of these cars drift all over the place. We'll probably get around 150 or so. We have to mess around with the gearing. And now we're getting above it. 160? 170? Almost 170. Not bad at all. Yeah, this is a car that I would be perfectly willing to sell to somebody. It's not so insanely powerful, but it's got a lot of get up and go. I think people would really like it. Okay, cool. That actually that reminds me of something I was thinking of. Another feature I'd like to see in the next version of the game, if they ever do put out a new one. I think it'd be really cool if you could have your own showroom where you sell cars that you've rebuilt. You put them out there, you set a price on them, and you get offers. You negotiate, sell a car. I think that'd be really cool. Especially, I think it'd be really neat to have a showroom with several cars in it that you built. You could walk around, look at them, just be happy at all the pretty stuff you've built, and then watch them sell. I think that'd be really cool to do that. I think that'd be a really neat feature if anybody at Red Dot Software is paying attention. What do we got here? And this is going to be $120,000. Wow, that's more than I expected. 118. All right, so what I'm not gonna sell it right this instant because I want to finish the other one. This one I think I will go ahead and build a supercharged V8 for it, and probably kill ourselves driving it. But I want to see what it looks like with a supercharged engine in it, and we'll probably put maybe different wheels, or maybe these wheels I don't hate. I don't hate these wheels. When I paint, I'm going to have to figure it out what I want it to look like. Right now it's just cosmetically fixed up. I'm not pleased with the color, especially as compared to how nice that one looks. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. So that's going to wrap this one up for now. We will come back to the other Camaro and we'll do a package deal on them. I'm going to get that Porsche finished so we can get all this stuff out the door, and then we can get back to our days haunting the junkyard. I also have some other cars kicking around in my parking that need to get done too. I might pull some of them out and work on those. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you again here for our next Junkyard adventure, which I am continuing to call it that because these cars came from the Junkyard even if you didn't see me buy them. So, on that note, bye for now.